In the bottom left, in the red here, we have our Zerg player, the favorite here, but now behind one game, he is
Wongjin star Soulkey.
And down here in the bottom right, the underdog, but so far, so good. He is
SK Telecom T1, Sue.
All right, since it's Halloween season, let's talk about scary movies.
Okay.
You like scary movies?
No.
Why
not
not?
Really.
You don't like scary movies?
Not really.
I love
not
scary
really.
movies. I'd love to be scared.
No, not me. Being scared sucks.
Oh, I love to be. I like survival horror games and I love scary movies.
Well, survival horror games I don't normally get scared of at all. But no, I'm not a big fan of scary movies. I don't like to be scared. I like
What's the scariest movie you ever saw?
Signs.
It's like not even that scary.
That's what stupid people say.
The one scene where the alien was underneath the door.
No, that part wasn't scary.
That part was scary, man.
No, when they caught the alien walking across the screen on that news footage that was blurry, that was the scariest part.
Welcome to the studio. That's a handsome nerd right there.
Which one?
We got a lot of.
They're both handsome.
Yeah, I saw the guy behind him was handsome too, man. We got some good-looking dudes in here.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Good-looking people watch Starcraft.
Yeah.
And cast Starcraft. And play Starcraft, by the way.
In fact, I heard that just liking Starcraft makes you handsomer.
Yeah.
Which is obvious.
That was I read that in the Times or something like that.
Yeah. Something like that.
Something like that. Now, what is that thing?
It's a layout.
Oh, of course.
How didn't you know that?
You're trying to find another layout to mate with. We must get infested layouts.
No, this layout is having a good time by himself. No, infested layouts would suck.
I think the scariest movie I saw was like Event Horizon. Event Horizon is pretty scary. It's
Actually,
scarier
the
than
movie that
Signs.
scared me the most was Gremlins because I saw it when I was like 3.
Oh, you know what? I saw that movie, Child's Play, with Chucky.
Yeah.
That movie actually messed my child brain up. I actually was terrified. My brother saw it with me too, and he was messed up too. We were actually scared of like dolls and stuff.
Yeah. That happens when you're a little kid. Like when I watched Gremlins, I watched it with like my uncle, and my mother yelled at him so many times because for the next like 2 years, I just had nightmares every night.
Yeah, I had this too. I dreamed like Chucky had like followed me. I'm like, Chucky's gonna get me. He's like, hey Nick, I'm here to kill you or whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't for Young Tasteless. That was.
No, I guess not.
Yeah.
Well, everything looking pretty normal so far for these two. No gases yet on either side. Should be seeing that change relatively soon.
Is he going to get a block here?
Yeah, he was setting up a nice block there with that drone.
Oh!
Sneaky Zergling.
Sneaky Zergling.
And he sees exactly that there are no gases quite yet. So Sue getting his gases just slightly before, but...
Soulkey's having a bad day today.
Yeah, it's so far. But, I mean, that's just one game, and when you do an all-in, you have to accept that sometimes your opponent is just going to stop the all-in. That's it. You know, if they know it's coming, it's not that hard to stop, so... Not the biggest deal. I think he's going to calm down and play a good series still.
Yep. Well, they're just power up for a little bit here. Oh, you know what scared me, actually? When the Halloween season coming up here... Okay, you played Diablo 1, right?
Yeah.
I think everybody played Diablo 1 first. The Butcher.
Yeah, the Butcher's
on floor number 2.
Yeah,
I remember that I opened up the door and he's like, fresh meat. And I'm like, oh, it's a butcher. And he's like chasing me.
Yeah.
He chased me for like 10 goddamn minutes, man. I was running. My brother was screaming behind me. You're trying to run away from the butcher.
Yeah.
Because you try fighting him like once, he just kills you. You have to go like down to level 3 or 4 or stuff. But I was running in the dungeon for 10 minutes, man. The butcher's fast, dude.
Yeah.
The butcher, I mean, that guy must work out, man.
He's not a slouch.
He does not get winded chasing my ass around the dungeon level 2.
So funny. Well, let's take a look. This is changing up a little bit now. Now, Sue's grabbing a couple of Evos and making a bunch of lanes. Now, is he going to go for 2 Evo Zergling upgrades? That would be kind of neat if
that
he gets
would
melee
be cool.
attack. And he's getting Burrow as well. Now, in the meantime, Soulkey is taking a much quicker third, but against all these speedlings being made, I cannot see that third staying up. 16 lings out right now, he can just kind of send them across. Now, okay, he does get range attack. That's pretty much what you would expect here. It'd be really weird to go double Evo Zerglings. That's not common anymore. It was a Wings Liberty strategy for a little bit. Now, he's making a lot of Lings. He's hit them very well when that Zergling came in, pulled them back behind his gases. Soulkey doesn't really know about this, and Soulkey's just making 6 Roaches, and against the 40-ish Lings...
Is that Overlord going to get away, by the way?
I guess so, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's about to be 40 Lings. Like, this third base is not going to stay alive. In fact, he might get these 2 high-energy
surround
Queens.
here. Now, the Queens are going to have to transfuse here, but there are more Lings coming, so they cannot get out of this surround, and now they've depleted their energy.
Well, a couple Queen kills. That's pretty strong. Does he even know about this third yet? He has to know, right?
Well, you'd think so,
okay,
right?
There you go. He knows. He's getting up here now. Has a lot of Lings still, but he decided to kill the Queens off and not try for that hatchery, which means Soulkey does have a secured third at the moment.
More Roaches gathering up here. Oh, trying to do a little run by there.
Okay,
well,
so this is... Right now, Sue is just... He is taking his own third, of course. It's a little bit slower.
Yeah, it's not done yet.
He has map control, at least, with these Zerglings. He's kind of making Soulkey stay there. Even though there's that third base that he got a lot quicker than Sue's, he's not allowed to mine from it because of the Zerglings.
Yeah, he can't actually utilize the base right now.
And with these Zerglings, he's keeping tabs on exactly how many Roaches are being made and kind of matching it as well.
And now Sue's sending his drones over to this base, so oddly enough, Sue's going to be mining from his third before Soulkey is.
It's some nice play here. His upgrade's just slightly ahead, too. Not the biggest deal. They probably should all finish up before there's an actual engagement.
Now, looks like the Overseer just going to get chased out here. I like what he's done with the Lings, just keeping him up there, so that if Soulkey leaves, he's going to get punished really hard. It's a great way to kind of staple Soulkey into his base.
Yeah, it's a big deal having those Lings out right now. You know, he didn't really get too far behind making them, so they're doing a very good job. Now, 29 Roaches to 19, so obviously Soulkey has a bit of a lead there right now, but with the 20 Lings, he has to sit back a little bit longer, which is going to give Sue some time to actually build up that Roach count a bit more.
We might have a Ling run around here, and here it is now. This is exactly why those Lings are there to begin with, but he left enough Roaches at home that it's not going to be possible. Now, if he leaves with the rest of these Roaches here, he could still get a run around.
Well, you know what? Right now, those Lings still are basically doing what they're meant to do. They're still kind of keeping Soulkey on, but Soulkey's regaining more and more and more of the map. Now, he does still have the Roach advantage. The upgrades are the same right now, though Soulkey will get ahead later. Ooh, this is a lot more Roaches for Soulkey in this area. This could be a mistake for Sue.
Now, Soulkey is, or Sue rather, is able to crank out more and more Roaches here to get them there a little bit quicker. And I think actually with the production rate being pretty good here and the Queen's transfusing, it's possible for Soulkey to actually lose this.
Yeah, it looks like Sue is starting to power through. The rally point's a lot further away for Soulkey. And suddenly Sue has a couple more Roaches plus his Queen's fighting.
And a supply lead here as well. Continuing to chase these Roaches back. Now, I don't think Sue should go all the way, and he does not. He backs up now.
No, he totally has to go home for sure. He needs to just stay back for a little bit. He's making a lot of Lings now. Now, those Lings can make a gigantic difference, but we do have +2 on the way for Soulkey, and when that finishes, he gains an advantage.
Here come the Lings now. And he's going to keep making Lings off the back of this, too, to reinforce.
Well, this time, Sue continuing to rally across. Soulkey, though, continues to make nothing but Roaches. Right now,
these Lings can't quite get up there and do the damage. Now they can. A very nice arc here for Sue. The concave does beat the convex.
That +2 still not quite yet finished. Sue pushing forward. They have very similar army supplies right now. More and more Lings coming in as well. Those Lings really helping out. But Soulkey, we're just so close to his rally points, and now he has that +2 attack.
And that's going to trigger Sue to run away.
Rightfully so. This is... He's about even in army still, so maybe he can drop back and... I don't know. We're close to his rally points. That's really what he has working for him, but he has to play defensive from here on out.
Yeah. Well, it's been a bit of a seesaw game here. Roach v. Roach, back and forth right now. More Lings and Roaches gathering up over here. And you can see Soulkey's trying to see if there's any point where he can get in here. He does have that upgrade advantage, so you can see he just wants to utilize that. But, with this little hole in the middle of the map here, it makes it pretty tough for him to get a nice angle to come in.
It is tough, yeah. That little area on the map is definitely what is keeping him out right now. But he is keeping ahead in Roaches just slightly and has that +2. So eventually I feel like he is going to try to poke in. Thing is, what kind of surface area can Sue get? In fact, Sue decides that he now has a bigger number here. Of course, he can see everything due to creep tumors, and Soulkey has to be on the run again.
Really nicely done, actually catching up to the point where these Roaches cannot retreat anymore. Soulkey taking a lot of damage. Clean's coming up here to transfuse and deal damage as well.
Well, Soulkey rallying out a lot more Roaches. Good surface area for Sue, pushing him back. Don't forget those Queens are in there. That's a huge part of this.
Yep. There's a high chance he'll be making Lings behind this to reinforce, since they do make faster and get there quicker.
I don't think that he can actually attack into this area.
He's also supply blocked. Next to both supply blocked here. Oh, this angle here for Soulkey is so good.
Yeah, we had a lot of Roaches in the back for Sue that are just dancing around. Fewer for Soulkey doing the same. And it looks like Sue actually getting a pretty decent supply lead.
Yeah, Soulkey taking a lot of damage, though, right now. And as you can see here, it looks like just barely this is going to even out now. He's going to have to back up a little bit. Those Queens with the transfuse making a huge difference.
They're also dealing a lot of damage as well. They do take those attack upgrades.
Yeah.
But, the thing is he has to keep fighting here. If he runs away, then the Queens just die alone, so he may as well utilize them for some extra damage with those Roaches. More Roaches coming in, but Sue's going to have to back up now.
Yeah, supplies are basically even right now, but we're closer to Soulkey's base, so the reinforcements get there a little bit quicker, which starts to tip the scale in Soulkey's direction. But it looks like now this counterattack, he might go all the way with this as well. Nope, he's going to back up.
Okay, so we're kind of back to even, but we still do have that little bit of an advantage for Soulkey where he has that +2 attack that never got started for Sue. So the longer this goes on like this, the more damage in general is being dealt by Soulkey, especially now that those Queens died. That was the great equalizer here for Sue.
Nice contamination there on that hatch. What do we have at the top? The big blue block?
That's Overlords.
Is that Overlords? Okay.
Yeah. I think you just sent him up there to... Well, I'm not sure why exactly, but...
Yeah, it's kind of a weird move.
A little bit of harassment coming in from Soulkey. +2 is on the way for Sue, so that's going to really help him when that finishes. He'll be back on even footings.
Supplies are neck and neck right now. And he's going to go for it again here.
Well, right now they have very similar army supplies, but we're very close to Sue's base, so I don't think he's going to be able to be killed here.
Man, this has been back and forth.
It certainly has, like literally back and forth. Attack on this side, and suddenly you're too close to their rallies, and you have to run, and then they attack on your side.
It's been literally back and forth, yes.
Well, he's added in more Queens again, and this is really nice to see here from Sue. This is like the one thing he's really doing differently from Soulkey. Of course, Soulkey got the quicker +2, Sue used a lot of early Zerglings, but the one big difference that we're seeing now that the game is normalized, there's not as many Zerglings made or anything like that, is the fact that he keeps on adding these Queens. And the transfuse plus the damage is doing a good job.
All right, and you can see Sue now has about a 20 supply lead here. Sue overall just looking a little bit more solid in ZVZ today.
He is. He's playing fantastically. I really like all of his strategic moves and everything. In fact, he's got the creep spread advantage.
This is true.
A funny thing to say in ZZ, but it is true.
All right, looks like he's going to come in here now.
Now he's got a big Roach advantage, Tasis. He's got that +2 attack, but that is a sick flank coming down from Soulkey.
Soulkey now hitting from two sides here. But again, Sue continuing to reinforce very, very well.
Sue just has so much supply right now, Tasis. He's up by 12 Roaches.
I think Soulkey's going to get right over here. You can see the supply starting to drop so quickly here for Soulkey. And it's now, it looks like Sue's now finally broken through here. GG. So far, Sue is up with 2 wins here against Soulkey. I think you might have been right, Artosis.
Yeah, but maybe not about the 3-1 or the 3-2. This could be a 3-0 at this point, Tasteless.
Yeah.
Sue is really playing a better ZVZ than Soulkey, and Soulkey isn't like playing bad or anything. It's just Sue is making great moves. He's always doing the right thing.
Soulkey not in a good spot right now. You know, he wants to go to those finals, but he may be going there just as a spectator. Soulkey has to win the next 3 games in a row. There's no room for mistakes now. Sue, a dominant force now here in ZBZ. He may already be thinking now about that finals against Deer.
He better not get too far ahead of himself, Tace. Soulkey is a deadly competitor. He's someone that came back in a finals for a reverse all-kill against Innovation before. So you cannot count him out of this series yet.
So far, Sue is really impressing me. Can he go on the way, or is Soulkey going to come back? We'll find out after this short break.